I did manage to scribble some notes during my very brief phone call this morning, in which I was told that I did not receive the job I applied for and they were moving forward with someone else. Reading over my notes, trying to recap what happened, I received the phone call. You could tell the energy was off. When you receive a call, you know if you got it or not. You know what I mean? Just by the tone, if you will. I was thanked for my courage, professionalism, having given my presentation. Everybody was impressed with my leadership experience, and they really enjoyed my philosophy. However, they are moving forward with someone with more experience that better aligns with the team and the tasks, and some specific individuals wanted me to reach out pertaining to any future jobs outside of the organization to kind of join into their network. I texted my wife that I was disappointed, but I didn't know why I was disappointed. Just have a mixed bag of emotions. Admittedly, not one of the first, but maybe first feelings was a little bit of relief, in the sense that the relief of anticipation was no longer there, right? We can, regardless if it happens or not, you kind of just want to know sometimes so you can move forward or go on to the next part, plan, phase, whatever. I went into this process and interview kind of thinking if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I have no negative feelings whatsoever towards the organization, and it very much is a team and organization I would very much enjoy working for someday. I am someone who believes that everything happens for a reason and that God has a plan, but I'm just kind of stuck in this weird feeling, almost like the emotional side of me is in qualms with the more pragmatic side, and what I mean by that is, I'm not going to pretend like my feelings aren't hurt. It's kind of a bummer. There is that little voice that's like, oh, you're not good enough or whatever. I've gotten better throughout life to kind of mute that, or I don't know, channel that energy a little bit differently. But again, I'm not immune to that. It's more so of a disappointment because I could see myself working with that team, and it did appear to have views and values kind of aligned. So that would have been nice. So to backtrack a little bit, I said there was that relief, and it was a relief from uncertainty, right? So I know now that I'm not going to have this position. So I think if I'm truly to analyze my situation, that is what I'm most disappointed in. I've not had a job since October, somewhat out of choice, and I'm very blessed to be in a situation and to have a partner, not only caring, understanding, but we're able to financially be able to do this. I know that's not necessarily the case for everyone, and I've not always been there, but the disappointment, I guess, comes from having or wanting a thing or whatever, and I know that's all insecurity driven. I feel like when you get to your 30s or something, it appears that you have to like choose your avatar character, right? Like, are you that weird hobby guy? Are you this, that, or whatever? I know it's not the case. Again, I'm wallowing a little bit, but it's this feeling of, what do I have to show for all the work I've done? Since October, I've had the amazing privilege of being a stay-at-home dad. And it wasn't until, even a month ago, I started to kind of enjoy or reap those benefits. I got off of social media because, comparison is the killer of happiness or whatever. It's hard not to compare my situation, my education path, if you will, to that of others and feel as though I don't have anything to show for it. Obviously, like, an external thing isn't just going to give you happiness. I'm not saying I am smart or wise, but I know enough not to feel that way. It just kind of feels like it kind of sucks, a little bit. Part of what's kept me from enjoying all this time as full-time dad life is that I've not fully enjoyed myself as an individual wearing that cap, so to speak, there's always been like, oh yeah, well, what if an opportunity shows up? And I have interviewed for different positions, but this one hits a little different. There's so many things that come to mind. Gosh, I always refer to this, but in the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith's character's son tells him this joke, where the premise of it is like, yes, you let go and let God, but you have to do the work and be open and receptive to the signs that he provides. So part of me wonders, like, is this another sign for me to double down on myself, bet on myself kind of thing? By no means does that mean I'm giving up or anything, but I'm very glad and happy that the organization found someone that is a good fit for them. Like, even if that means it's not me, you know, ideally better than me or whatever. But I can't help but to think again, could I have been more analytical in my presenting rather than philosophical? But I did go in saying, this is specifically the way I want to do it. It's who I want to be. If they take that and that's what they want, great. If not, so be it, kind of thing. I just kind of want to get my thoughts out there. The interview process in and of itself was phenomenal. It was a great experience. They really put a lot of thought and effort into the feeling that the applicant goes through, just making them feel comfortable, you know, truly welcoming a guest and a potential teammate. Yeah, no, just overall amazing experience, which is kind of adds a little bit of the salt to the wound. When they were going to start out, I guess what typically happens is you meet with the director and they go over a little bit of the culture, kind of set the foundation. Unfortunately, the director wasn't able to be there. In his absence, I met with an associate director who did kind of set the foundation. You could just tell right off the bat was, you know, welcoming. It didn't feel stuffy or whatever. But I say all this to say how it started is the main takeaway. When I met with that associate director and I was asking him about this stuff and kind of telling him my story and everything, and this is after we kind of shared over some of the similar values and stuff. He said, I'm very much jealous of your situation where you get to be a full-time dad. He said, I'm a dad of 3. He's a little farther along in life, so to speak, with kids slightly older. He said, what I want you to know and think about is that you are happy now in your position or in your situation, and the results of this interview process should not take away from that. And that's what I kind of choose to leave with. He did end with, well, that being said, you are here to get a job, right? So again, it wasn't like it was predetermined that I wasn't going to get the position or anything like that. Again, there's a lot of feelings and nothing, again, ill will towards the organization. If anything, just kind of me figuring out like, oh, why am I not good enough or whatever, which I know also isn't the case, right? If it, you know, the stars align on both ends. But yeah, that's what I'm choosing to go with. And I hope that I am able to truly work on being present as my role as a stay-at-home dad, and at least until I no longer get to be, right? So, yeah, just a lot of self-reflecting, but yeah.